So as we celebrate Mother's Day, really this is a good opportunity to me to really just express gratitude and thank you for not only my own mom and my own wife, but also the ladies that make up Living Hope Church. And we're just so grateful for you. And a lot of times, especially in today's days, sometimes I think we miss out on the opportunity just to recognize the ladies for all what they do. And so again, today as we just highlight this, there's always been questions like, should you have a sermon just deal with mothers or just that? But I feel like when you think of your heart of your home, you think of what makes my home. So I think of, there was one moment, especially this comes to mind so if dad's sick, it really doesn't affect nothing. Deadlines are met. Things are done, like all this, like these things are done like automatically and almost magically, right? But when mom's sick, man, it just shuts the show down. Like there's just no magic left. There's nothing. Laundry doesn't get done. We can tell as a family if how busy we are if my wife, just based on the different things that have to be done at the house. Because if my wife is really busy, then there really isn't much happening like in the home. And so the idea is just really recognizing that and recognizing the hard work, the heart work, and the honor of a woman that loves God and helps provide for her family, her husband, and her children. What a great value that is, and really needed today. As I grow two young ladies, I want them to know that they are treasured beyond anything in our home, that we love them, that they have a value, and it's not based on what they accomplish, but who they are and what they mean to this. And so today, we're just going to take a moment. Hopefully, it's encouraging, just to encourage those that have, if you are a mom, we want to tell you we love you and are grateful for you. If you are a grandmother, you got double, right? Like if you're a great-grandmother, right, you're even double, right? Or triple, whatever. And so the idea, I'm not good at math, but the idea is really the heart is we want to appreciate that. Maybe, and then all of us here have a mother, or our mother has gone on to glory. And so this is a time to just recognize what a gift she was or is. And then as we think of young ladies, as you think of being a mother, or even as you think of a family, just the responsibility and how to run that house in a way that's honoring and pleasing to God. And so really the idea here is we want to see as if a faithful mother is a gift to her family. Really is a gift to her family. Her family, honored through her hard work and heart work. And so we looked at some verses as we prayed this morning, really as the Proverbs 31 woman or wife the kind of woman that she was. And at the beginning there, it just says, an excellent wife who could find, she is far more precious than jewels. And so as we think of this, as we think of the hard work of a mom, hard work, I think of, now again, I probably took advantage, like many of you, as my mom did stuff, like I just expected a certain thing. Like she was my mom. Now my mom was a single mother most of my life, all of my life really. And then she even was a widow. After she married my stepdad, and then 3 months after that, he had committed suicide after he married her, and really wrecked our family, like what I remember, it was just a really tragic event in my life. So I saw my mom really just, again, from a kid's perspective, someone that was take charge, kind of really ready to take on the world, to someone that went through a really hard season, and I would say by God's grace recovered years later. But it was just a really difficult season. But to see her, to not only have my sister and I, but she adopted my stepdad's children as her own, and she helped provide for them, took care of them. We were latchkey kids, so we got in a lot of trouble, as the latchkey kids. But single mom, working, trying to provide for us, and just all the struggles of that, and really not understanding what that load was, the hard work that was for her in that situation. And I can speak for me, we didn't make it easy on her. We didn't make it easy on her. And I was the good one of the rest of them, right? So that's on video, so they could watch this. But the truth is, the gray hairs my mom has, she earned every one of them. And so just to think back and the hard work and the grace. Yet, and her story is not unique to her. Like, there's many women, even in this church today, that have seen, that have struggled. Maybe your mom has gone through some different difficulties and situations, and you've just seen her. And so you've seen her not only do that, but also, I would say for me, is as I've got older, is really just thought of the grace that I need to extend to her. That's one on even both parents, to my mom and dad, just to extend, like they didn't have some of the opportunities that I have had, and they tried to do the best they could at that season in their life. And you know what? She got a Baptist preacher out of it, right? Like, so she did something right, you know? And so again, just really thinking through that and the hard work. And Proverbs says this, it says in verse 13, she seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands. She's like the ships of the merchant. She brings her food from afar, and she rises up while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. And so a lot of the hard work that a mom does is really private work. It's not seen as, it's even expected, and it's a high standard to that. And so this woman that's described here is a woman that's industrious. She finds opportunities to help the family. And so one thing I can say for my wife is that, and many of you could testify this for your wife as well, is that I wouldn't be where I'm at today without my wife. And even today, like even right before you, so you notice why we sang 2 songs and not 1? Because I forgot. And what happened? My wife let it go like it was nothing. Like she could have stopped the show, made it big. But no, I'm noticing that's what she does for me. And she does it so often that I got confidence in how good I am because how much she covers for me, right? Like it's like, yeah, we got that, because she really is amazing that way. And I see her work that way. A couple of things as we were going to seminary when so I felt called into ministry early on before I met her, and then, we weren't married at the time, and so got her to follow me in that. The best decision I did was to get her to marry me. One of really the best decision I ever could have gotten. And many of you may question how she said yes. She was homeschooled. She was desperate. There's a lot of backstory in that. But I got her to say yes, and then we preached hard on divorce. Like, no, no, no. So it's one way. So that's what we did. But what, and believe it or not, like I'm so much more put together now than I was when she met me. I was driving a Ford Festiva. You don't know what that is? It is not a cool car. So there's just so much. But she said yes, and to see the confidence she gave me and the belief that she gave me. And so as I made decisions for ministry and my plan for my life, my wife would make sacrifices, just like this describes this. And I know your wife has done the same. And so how she would say no to herself or my wife does little things like if there's one little last bit of food, she doesn't take it. She gives it to somebody else or to one of the kids or to myself. Like she's super, and she does it so much that it's expected almost. And that's what the kind of woman that is describing here. My wife is known for her coupon ability, and the reason why I really take full credit to that because we didn't make a lot of money when we first got married, and she had to be very industrious, very creative, and so creative that somehow like she would have a budget and she would always grow her budget out. Like I think she was like doing some side hustle or something, but she did such a good job with how she managed the finances and took care of that stuff. And really, she is the smart one in this marriage in that. And so again, I'm just highlighting her, knowing that is how many of you as your husband or as a husband, you feel about your wife, that she covers a lot of those places in your life where you lack. And that's what's the beauty of that. This woman that fears God, that puts God first, she works hard. I also had the beautiful experience of seeing my wife help raise our children. the praise, anything that's bad about my kids, you can give me full credit for that. Like he's like, man, that kid's got a mouthy mouth. Like, that's because I have a mouthy, like, that kid is kind of stubborn. I'm pretty stubborn. And so, but you see the good parts, the generosity, those things were instilled by my wife while I was working. She was at home with them, and especially in those dog days, right, when they're little babies and they're just trying to get them. She was faithful and helped them, and that's hard work. And especially when you have the ability to give up. My wife, she worked as a nurse, and she gave that up so she could help raise our children, and we see the benefits of that. Again, I'm just saying this is hard work. And one thing I was looking up, what would you pay a stay-at-home mom? And so this is, again, they figure that's about $162,000 and $162 and $581. So that is incredible amount of money. All the tasks she does, and all the hidden work, and all the things we don't. And I'm just telling you, I'm grateful for the hard work of my wife and my mom and the ladies of this church that they have done to provide for their families. And so if you see my kids' clothes, you know she's worked hard, right? There's a couple times they came, it's like, why are you wearing that? Because that's her hard work. That's a lot of things is not noticed. Not only is it hard work, there's a heart work. My kids will do dumb things, just like I did dumb things, and just like you do dumb things. It affects me. It probably makes me mad or irritates me, but it hurts my wife. It hurts a mom. A mom grieves with her kids and walks with them. If you have a wayward child, or a child that just is not doing what, not following God or not putting God first, there's a mother that's suffering for that child. And it's kind of their job, right? Because it's a heart job. And so I think of this, he says this in verse 10. An excellent wife who can find, she is far precious more than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. So that idea that she's working behind the scenes, really doing all the things so that I have a place. And even he said, like later on, he said that there was a place at the gate. There's a place, a prominence for them. And so she's putting her heart, she's allowing his success to be her success. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life. And so a heart work is somebody that I can trust with my heart, with my desires and my hopes, that she keeps them safe. I can honestly brag about my wife personally that she doesn't badmouth me, and she has a lot to badmouth. She doesn't talk to her mother about the things that I don't do. My mom actually thinks I'm a better guy than I am because of my wife. The way she talks, she doesn't share the things that hurt her or things. Why? Because she trusts God, and because it's a heart work for her. And again, this godly woman that is expressed here is a woman that her husband, it says, in the heart of her husband trust in her. And so it also goes in verse 26, it says, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and teaching and kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. And so that heart work, that she cares for her kids, that she loves her children, that she provides for her children. And you know what I really love is when I see my wife or see ladies in general just to pray for their children. There's nothing like a praying mother. A praying mother really is really desperate and dependent upon God to do something for her kids that she cannot do herself. And so I think a lot of times there's an inadequacy that feels there. Like, man, I wish I could keep them from all the trouble. Just the other day, there was some drama in the Snyder home, and I could see, I'm like, figure it out. But I could see my wife and this heart of her, of how she wants to help protect, wants to keep them from feeling not liked or not cared for or not accomplish their goals. And so that is heart work. And so I just want to, again, pause for a moment, and I see that same display of faithfulness and love as the ladies of Living Hope Church, as they come to Living Hope Church and they help use their gifts and talents and their abilities to do God's work. A lot of the things that we have here, the children's program, the nursery, and just different areas of ministry, the hospitality, outreach, a lot of these things are done because of the hard work of the ladies of Living Hope Church. As they just the other day, we were trying to make some decisions, and one of the ladies said to me, we can't not do this, because what about the kids? What about the children? They need to be loved and cared for. They need to be that. And so that's that hard work, and that really makes Living Hope Church a better place. That makes your family and your home a better place, because there's somebody there that's praying for their family, that cares for their family. Man, just talk to any woman about even the knuckleheads. We would see some of their kids like, man, that's a person's a knucklehead. And not the mama. Mama sees that kid as that kid was when they were first born, or, they just have a heart for them. Thank God there's a mom that loves you, right? Thank God for that. And so again, I love the fact that we can honor our mothers because they are a gift to our family. They're a gift to our church, and so honored through their hard work. And you know what the result of that is? Is praise. There's something I've definitely, as I've gotten older, as I have thought through my own leadership as a husband and as a father, and as you look back, you think, there was so much grace given to me early on. My wife, when she first met me, there was times where I did things that I thought was right because I was the man, or I'm going to do it this way, and just see the grace that she went along with it, and she really let me decide, really have that direction. She didn't. Now, there's a phrase in a movie I just watched, King Richard. This woman says, "Don't mistake my silence for agreement." And I thought that's probably a lot early on in our marriage. It took me about 12 years ago. I guess it was about maybe a little longer now, 13, 14 years ago. I really began to think differently about my role as a husband. A lot of times, we're just selfish, and I'm selfish, no different. And so I began to really think that, my wife was made to do what I wanted her to do, or, just these things, make sure that things were done at home that I wanted done and that stuff. There was a shift. I realized that she was a gift that I was to take care of. She was a gift. I thought that when I first got married, but being a knucklehead and just kind of, just not appreciating the gift I got. But there was a dramatic shift. I can actually remember there was some dishes need to be done, and she had, I think Wayne was just born at that time, and the house was kind of just not in a clean space. And there's a part of me is like, man, why don't you clean? You don't work, why don't you clean? I know, women, don't kill me, I know. But we all think that, right? There's something done. And so, but there was a shift, like, what? My job is to take the burden off of my wife. And so I began to do the dishes, and I began to clean the house, and I began to make sure I watched the kids, and I would plan to make sure she had space. And then I really realized that not only my job was to not only work with her, but also to help her flourish. Is if she's good at something, give her every opportunity to do the things she's good at. And it was just really a maturing side for me. And thankfully, she was gracious and kind to let me grow in that. But to see the woman that my wife became after that, the voice she has, the strength she has, the confidence she has, the ability she has, and really now seeing that in my daughters and being able to create this, thankfully my daughters have a high standard of what the husband that they want to find needs to do. No one treats them better than this guy right here. Like, they are my ladies, and they are treated well. And because of that, any guy that wants to marry them or they have a high bar to match up to, and they're going to hold them to that. And I'm going to help them. And so as we think of that, but that was what really my job was, to not only create a space where she would flourish, and not only get what I wanted, but to help her get what she wanted, and really to help grow that. And what happens is praise. Look what it says. It says, her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also calls her blessed. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. And I could say that honestly from my heart to my wife. But also, this is what I think the power of my wife, and the power of a godly woman, and the power of the women of Living Hope Church, if they allow God to lead and direct them. Charm is deceitful. Oh, you can put on the flattery. You can put on the show. It's deceitful. Beauty is vain. We all age. You can just see the actresses of today. I remember the pretty ones from 30 years ago. They use a lot of makeup today, right? And so what? Time, because it's vain. It's eventually going to go away. But you know what's so beautiful And I see it as I've been married now 23 years, and I've seen it even in my mom, I've seen it in my wife. I've seen a godly character come out of them that is, it says, a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And I'm just so thankful for the godly women. I've seen the ladies of Living Hope Church. I can say that from the time we started, to see an absolutely growth and desire to be more become a godly woman. And so we see that. And so I love that idea of this. A faithful mother is a gift to her family. And so today we just wanted to stop and pause and say thank you. Just say thank you. And so if you need to call your mom today, if you need to encourage your mom today, say, well, my mom struggles with this, or my mom with that. You know what? That's where we, by God's grace, can give them grace. You know what? God gave me that mom for whatever reason, and that was the best one he gave me. I wouldn't be who I am today without her, good or bad. And so I can give grace. So a faithful mother is a gift to her family, honored through her hard work and heart work. And so for the ladies, the challenge for you today is really to be that faithful mother, to be faithful not to just your family, but be faithful to God. Put God first in your life. Allow God help make your decisions. One thing I would encourage you, if you're not a mom, if you're not married yet, is begin to really set your standards. What kind of man is going to lead me and direct me? What kind of man is going to help me create a space in my life where I can flourish and be a blessing to me? You know, I'll just be straight up. You don't need a man. Like, you don't need a man. But if he's a good guy and he like, I'm telling you, you don't need him. But I tell my girls, you don't need him. But I'm telling you, if there's a guy that loves you and cares for you and creates space and gives you a space where you can flourish, man, that is what your standard is. And so again, and where you find that is by following the Lord. By following the Lord and putting him first in your life. And so the way we do that a couple ways in Living Hope Church is to know Jesus. And the best thing you can do for your family is to have a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, to recognize that your need for him is far more important than anything. If you get that right, then God will help you get the rest right. And the other is to be known, is to know that motherhood is struggle. So this goes two ways. So the older women, the Bible talks about this, is to teach the younger women. Now, Bible days, older women were 30. I just want you to know. So if you're older, like if you need to begin to teach the younger women, and that's not just by telling them what to do or giving them some instruction. No one loves that, right? No one loves that. But that means to be an example, to show them by your actions, by practice what you expect. And then I think for younger women, what that means for you is to really be teachable. And I know it's hard. I know Google has all the answers. I know you can AI it and they'll tell you what they'll do and not do. Social media has great things on there. But you know what? There's something special. Some of the greatest advice that we got as family is my mom and my mother-in-law. My mom and my mother-in-law gave me some really good advice on how to not only parent, all that. That was really good. So there was one time we were going somewhere. My mother-in-law's had 9 children. And so I think it was Aaron. So we were going to go away for a night, and my wife was giving her all these instructions, what to do and not do, and make sure. And I'm like, Tina, she's had 9 kids. And you're one of them. She knows what she's talking about. And so I would just encourage, like, if I would encourage anything, is I think on both sides of that, is to be known is for young mothers to share some of their struggles and be honest and then be teachable, and older mothers to be gentle and be gracious and to really step into that space. So that's one. And then that could also mean to own your faith, is to just allow God to be a blessing. I'm telling you what, if all we were was godly mothers and godly fathers at our home, that would really deal with a lot of the issues we have in society. If we just put God first and put God first in our actions and been lived by what we've told our kids to live by, we would see the fruit of that. But what happens to us a lot of times is we tell them to do something and we don't do it ourselves. So owning your faith is a step faith. So all these things, these are ways to put that in. So from my perspective, though, as a husband and a son, is I just want to say thank you. And I love you. And so that's really my heart. And what I want, hopefully you, today, you're like, oh no, today's Mother's Day. Call your mom. right? Just call your mom. Let's pray. Jesus, we thank you for your grace. We thank you for your love. I know this has been just a special day for our moms. They do work hard. They work so hard, and many things that I could mention and really even brag about my own wife. That, Lord, there's so many other things that not even mentioned. But God, we also ask you that you would, that not only is it hard work, but it's hard work. There's many grieving mothers in this room today. They are disappointed by maybe some decisions, some actions of their children. Maybe there's real loss where they've lost their child, and only you can comfort them. And really, there's no solution for that except you. And I just ask you, God, that you would just be with those moms, that you would meet them. You know their prayers, you know their desires, you know their imperfections, you know their all the things they're not, and they feel that every way. But God, we thank you for what they are. And we just ask you, bless them, help them know that they're loved and cared for. And God, we just thank you for them. We also pray for just to honor them. Help me, and help the men of our church to honor the women that you've placed in our lives. That we would show respect, that we'd show dignity, that we would give them space to grow, and we would create a place where it's safe and where they can express their concerns and desires. We thank you so much for all that you're doing. We just ask you, God, to help us to grow in this, and we'll just give you all the praise. In Jesus' name, amen. And so after we sing today, we do have a gift for you, and just for you moms. And so we want to give you this gift and just let you know that at Living Hope Church, we love you and are so grateful for you. Okay?